Hello, and welcome to the October Fantasy Book from the Broken Bindings Fantasy subscription. This, my friends, is the heaviest Broken Binding box I've ever received. This thing is bulky, and this isn't even the largest novel in this trilogy. This is the Dragonbone Chair by one Tad Williams. It is, as I mentioned, a trilogy, but it is being spread across 4 months for the Broken Binding. So the third title, which is over 1,000 pages in its normal form, is getting the December and January months. So, which is kind of weird. I mean, I get it. I get it for all intents and purposes. But imagine... Actually, I imagine they don't send out invites mid-series. I mean, I suppose they could. But imagine, like, joining the subscription and only getting, like, the second half of a novel. Not only the second half of a novel, but the second half of the final novel in the trilogy. Who knows? But anyways, books are a form of magic because they span time and distance more surely than any spell or charm. Here we have Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, Book 1, The Dragonbone Chair, which is the first of the subscription series to have interior illustrations. You know, it's pretty crazy to see how this subscription has come along over the past couple years. You know, it started out with just like the UK covers, but you know, you had your sprayed edges. But then, you know, they started giving original covers, and they started, you know, bringing in their original artwork or original boards with the kind of the PVC style boards. Now we have original covers and interior artwork. So here's Jeff Brown's cover artwork for the Dragonbone Chair. Holy crap. And I believe, so the Endpaper artwork for this one is by Marc Simonetti and Christopher Cant. Very, very nice. Foil design by Rachel St. Clair. Interior artwork by Raphael Pinna. Pinna, or is it Pinna? I believe it's Pinna. But anyways, this is a heavy, heavy book. Oh my lord. It is a glued spine, unfortunately, which is my biggest complaint. And Thorn, I believe that's Thorn on the page edge there. Looks fine to me. Some people are getting their copies, and because of the humidity, Thorn was looking all wavy. My Thorn looks decent. Let's look at this end papers. So we have Marc Simonetti on the first one, Christopher Cant on the second one, presumably. The crazy thing about this, this is numbered. I should say the fantasy edition. I just did the sci-fi unboxing, which is not numbered and sometimes not signed. This is signed by Tad Williams and numbered. I have 805 out of 1,500. Oh, look, they even have, so they do have the Green Angel Tower split up, even on like the bibliography here of Williams. So it's not, you know, too out of touch to have it split up into two. Almost reminds me in a way of, look at this. So we have this edition published. So we have first edition. This is the first of this edition. Reminds me in a way of the Wheel of Time, as I was starting to say. The Wheel of Time, a couple years back, decided they were going to, wow, this text is massive. Did they print the large print edition? Damn. I had heard it was large. I did not, I mean, that's, you know, seeing it from pictures. Seeing it in person, this is massive. This almost looks like the large print edition. Which is surely going to make the, you know, page count go up. I'm trying to look for some of these interior illustrations. All I'm getting so far is cartography, which I don't think is one of the interior illustrations. As I was starting to say before I tangented myself further and further away, the Wheel of Time a few years back tried to split up. Oh, there's one of his. Okay. Does it have multiple illustrations? Did I miss them? Raphael's illustrations? Wheel of Time, they were trying to split it up. I guess they bring younger readers in. I know they started splitting up their titles, which those titles get massive. I am ashamed to say that is a series I could never finish. Oh, there's one. One of Raphael's illustrations. Very, very nice. He has collected the Dragon Balls, as you can see. Yeah, I thought this title was originally like 500 and something pages, 600 and something pages. We're looking at 934 pages in this. And that's probably due to the font size, because that font is massive. Did I miss an illustration as I was flipping through? This is where one of the downsides of having sprayed edges is that you can't easily see where the illustrations are. You know, normally you can be like, oh, there's a dark edged page. That's clearly illustration. So, Wheel of Time, completely going off on Wheel of Time now. Never finished that series. I really should. But that thing is 14 books long, which isn't a problem if you keep me engaged for all 14 books. I made it to Winter's Heart, which I think was book 8. And it got to the point where, I mean, the first few books were superb. The first, like, 3, you had, Dragon Reborn was the third one. Maybe I'm mistaken. Great Hunt was the second one. I want to say Dragon Reborn was the third one. That was like almost like original trilogy in and of itself. And then it just started, like, you know, building up the bigger picture. It's like, oh, I know you killed the big bad guy, but he's not really the big bad guy, so let's continue onward. And just around, like, book 8, it was just such a slog for me. I was like, you keep adding more characters in, and there's nothing interesting going on. There's only so many times that characters can yank their braids, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I couldn't do it. It got to the point where I was splitting up my reading with other books. So I was like, oh, I'll read one Wheel of Time book, then I'll read a couple other books, go back to Wheel of Time, and it just, like, eventually tangented out, and I just never got back into it. I will one day. I do own the other books. But anyways, there was a 7-minute video of me talking about the Wheel of Time while showcasing the Dragonbone Chair from Tad Williams, the fantasy subscription from Broken Binding. Going back to Wheel of Time. Going back to Wheel of Time. Can you imagine if they did that? People were like, oh yeah, do that for the subscription. Can you imagine if they did that? I mean, all of these other titles, I mean, Ostenard has a bunch of titles here. I mean, these are all Ostenard. That's Ostenard. You could go on for a while. Wheel of Time would take longer than a year. And if you split any of those longer novels up, we're looking at like a 2-year commitment to get those novels published. So anyways, I can't really tell you much about Dragonbone Chair. If you want an even fancier edition of this, I mean, this is a pretty fancy edition, but it is still kind of just a fancy trade edition. If you want a fancier edition that is not a trade edition, check out Grim Oak Press's title, their version of Dragonbone Chair. I want to say it's a little bit bigger than this. It's not oversized, but I don't think it has quite the same dimensions as the UK hardcover. I want to say it's a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, perhaps. But it has nicer quality paper. It doesn't have large print font. I believe that one had the bonded leather. They usually do bonded leather for their titles. It's really only recently they've been going to cloth for some of them, which I love cloth, so I'm totally fine with it. It has nice interior illustrations. It's just an all-around nice edition. If you don't want to take my word for it, link in the description below to my unboxing video of it. You can see it for yourself. It has a fancy, fancy edition. But that one is sold out, so you would have to go to the secondary market if you want to pick up a copy of that. But then, technically, so is this. There is a huge, disgustingly long wait limit for the fantasy subscription for the Broken Binding. So if you are still waiting to get on the, you're on the wait list, you're on the tier 2, and you just want to check the videos out, subscribe to the channel, because I'm here. I'm number 805. I'm not planning on dropping off this train anytime soon, because I know it's going to take years to get back on it. So I'm on for the long run. So you can watch month after month these fantasy titles live vicariously through me. I'm totally fine with that. I also do other small press unboxings, such as Grim Oak Press, as well as at least a weekly book review. So plenty to check out. But anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Check out The Broken Binding. Check out Ted Williams. Check out the first 3 books of the Wheel of Time, and we'll see you around next time.